It was a night no one would want to be out in, not even a stray dog. The rain hit the streets like sheets of icy glass, and thunder cracked the sky open in a fury. In the heart of a forgotten town in Georgia, just past the last working traffic light, lived a man named Henry Brooks. A quiet, hard-working mechanic in his late 50s, Henry had oil-stained hands, a bent back, and a heart far cleaner than his greasy overalls. He lived alone in a small, creaking house beside the repair shop his father built decades ago. Business had been slow for years. His truck had broken down weeks earlier. The bank had been calling. But despite his struggles, Henry kept showing up every morning to work on cars that barely paid the bills, because that's what good men do. That night, as the rain battered the tin roof of his workshop, Henry was about to close up and head home when he heard it, the sound of a car engine sputtering, then silence, just outside the shop. He stepped out with his flashlight, squinting through the downpour. A silver sedan had stalled near the edge of the road. The driver's door opened, and a woman stepped out, shielding her head with nothing but her coat. She looked exhausted, shivering, and soaked to the bone. "Evenin', ma'am," Henry said gently, walking over. "Need some help?" The woman hesitated. She was in her early 30s, elegant but clearly out of her element. "My car just died," she said. "I was on my way to Atlanta. No signal. I didn't know what else to do." "Well, lucky for you," Henry said with a warm grin, "you broke down right in front of the best mechanic this side of the state line." She laughed softly. It was the first real smile she'd had in hours. Henry didn't ask for money. He didn't ask who she was or why she was out there alone. He simply brought her inside the shop, gave her a towel and a cup of coffee, and got to work. It took 2 hours of wet, cold, back-breaking effort, but he got her car running again. When she tried to offer him money, he raised his hand. "Ma'am," he said, "you needed help. That's payment enough." She left shortly after, driving off into the storm. Henry didn't even ask her name. 2 days passed. Life returned to normal, or at least what passed for normal in Henry's world. He woke early, fed his old dog Jasper, and went to work on an old Ford pickup that hadn't moved in 6 years. The clouds had finally cleared. Then came the sound no one expected to hear in that town, the loud, chopping blades of a helicopter. Henry stepped outside and stared in disbelief. A sleek black helicopter was descending right in front of his shop, kicking up dust and leaves. The neighbors peeked through their windows, phones in hand. The entire street was in a stunned hush. The chopper touched down. The door opened. And out stepped the same woman. But this time, she wasn't wearing a soaked coat and worry on her face. She wore a clean blazer, designer heels, and confidence like a second skin. "Mr. Brooks," she said, walking toward him with a smile, "I believe we have some unfinished business." Henry blinked. "Ma'am? My name is Laura Hastings. I'm the CEO of Hastings Automotive. The night I broke down, I was on my way to finalize a merger. But something went wrong. I lost signal, lost direction, and almost gave up. Until you helped me." He chuckled nervously. "I just fixed your car." "You saved more than that," she replied. "You reminded me that good people still exist. And that maybe I've forgotten what it means to really care. I want to help you now." Before Henry could respond, a black SUV pulled up behind the chopper. Out stepped a team of legal advisors and consultants. They handed Henry a folder. Inside was a contract. Laura wanted to buy out his shop, not to tear it down, but to rebuild it, expand it, and name it after his late father. She offered him a full salary, a new house, and his pick of apprentices to train. "I want your heart in every one of our service centers," she said. "The way you helped me. I want our brand to mean that kind of kindness." Henry stood there, speechless, eyes watering behind old spectacles. He looked at the shop, at the oil-stained floor and rusted tools, and finally back at the woman whose life he had touched without knowing. "I don't know what to say," he whispered. "Say yes," she said with a smile. He did. In the weeks that followed, the entire town watched as trucks rolled in, rebuilding the humble shop into something grand. Henry was featured on the news, his story told across the country. but fame didn't change him. He still came in early, still fixed cars with the same care, and still believed that sometimes, the smallest act of kindness could change the course of someone's life. Years later, a plaque hung on the wall of every Hastings Auto Center, inspired by Henry Brooks, the mechanic who never asked for anything but gave everything. The rain that night had washed more than just the streets, it had uncovered the simple truth that kindness, no matter how small, echoes louder than we ever expect.